The Bloodhound of Blackchapel, London, 1892. The city of fog and blood. London was a city that never slept, though it pretended to beneath its shroud of fog. Somewhere in the depths of its twisting streets, a monster was carving his legacy into the flesh of the unfortunate. 4 dead so far. And Jonathan Crowe, the man they called the Bloodhound, was the only one who could sniff him out. The night was cold when Crowe arrived at the morgue. The gaslight flickered, casting long shadows over the slabs. Dr. Eleanor March stood over the latest victim, her gloved hands steady as she examined the wounds. Inspector Harrow loomed in the background, arms crossed, his expression tight with distaste. The body in the morgue. Crowe stepped closer, peering down at the corpse. A young man, no older than 25, his body drained of blood, his skin waxy and lifeless. The puncture wounds were neat, too precise for an animal, too deliberate for an accident.
Drained, like the others.
March adjusted her spectacles, her voice clinical as ever.
Not a single drop left in him. No signs of struggle, no ligature marks.
Harrow scoffed from the doorway, shifting uncomfortably.
So what? You think this is some kind of vampire?
Crowe smirked, pulling a cigarette from his coat. He lit it with a slow drag before responding.
No, vampires aren't real, Inspector.
Harrow exhaled, relieved.
But something else is.
March ran a careful finger over the wound sites, her gaze thoughtful.
The precision of these cuts. This isn't an animal. A skilled hand did this. Perhaps even a doctor.
Crowe's eyes flickered with interest. A doctor. That narrowed the playing field considerably. He tapped his cigarette, ashes falling into a metal tray.
Then let's pay a visit to the men who know how to cut.
Harrow groaned.
Where are we going now?
Crowe grinned.
To the Crimson Society.
The Crimson Society. The entrance to the Crimson Society was hidden between a brothel and an opium den. A blood-red door with no name and no sign. Only those who were meant to find it ever did. Crowe knocked twice. A panel slid open, revealing a pair of bloodshot eyes. The man behind the door scowled.
You're not welcome here, Crowe.
Crowe smirked.
And yet here I am.
The door groaned open. The club was a den of velvet and shadow, where men with refined tastes indulged in forbidden pleasures. Goblets of thick, dark liquid gleamed under the low light. The air smelled of cigars, brandy, and something far more metallic beneath it. Blood. Victor Duval sat at the heart of it all, reclining in a deep chair. Immaculate in his black suit, his silver hair brushed back, he watched Crowe with an expression of wry amusement.
Jonathan Crowe. You never know when to leave well enough alone, do you?
Crowe exhaled smoke, stepping closer.
I'm looking for a name.
Duval swirled his drink, considering. Then he smiled, slow and knowing.
Ah, you mean the Hollow Man.
March stiffened beside Crowe, her breath catching.
You know who he is.
Duval chuckled.
A man who wishes to be a vampire. but he is unfinished. A failed experiment.
Crowe's eyes narrowed.
Who?
Duval took a languid sip of his drink before speaking.
Dr. Gideon Blackwell.
March's face paled at the name.
Blackwell? He was a surgeon at St. Bartholomew's. He vanished months ago.
Duval tilted his head.
Now you know why.
Crowe leaned forward, voice low.
Where is he?
Duval's smirk deepened.
Follow the freshest corpse.
The slaughterhouse. The abandoned slaughterhouse reeked of death. The floor was slick with old blood, dark stains soaked deep into the rotting wood. The chains overhead swayed with the wind, their iron whispers filling the empty space. And in the center of it all stood Dr. Gideon Blackwell. His surgeon's coat was soaked in crimson. His eyes burned feverishly in the dim light. Scalpels lay in neat rows before him, their edges gleaming like teeth. He turned, slowly, grinning as he spotted Crowe.
Jonathan Crowe, the Bloodhound. Have you come to understand?
Crowe leveled his revolver.
I've come to end you.
Blackwell chuckled, spreading his arms.
You think you can stop me? Blood is power. I have surpassed flesh. I am becoming.
Dear God.
March whispered in horror. Crowe pulled the trigger. The bullet struck Blackwell's shoulder, but the mad doctor barely flinched. Then he lunged, moving too fast for a man. His scalpel flashed through the air, slicing through Crowe's coat. March grabbed the lantern. Her hands trembled, but she hurled it with all her strength. The glass shattered, oil spread, fire erupted. Blackwell screamed as flames crawled up his coat. Crowe didn't hesitate. He drove his silver knife deep into Blackwell's chest. Blackwell gasped. His eyes widened. For a moment, he almost looked human. Then he collapsed. The fire spread. The slaughterhouse burned, and with it, Blackwell's madness. Epilogue. The Bloodhound's Curse. The next morning, Crowe stood by the Thames, cigarette between his lips. The water lapped against the docks, murky and restless. March watched him, arms crossed.
It's over.
Crowe exhaled smoke.
For now.
She hesitated.
What are you, Crowe?
He smirked, but there was something haunted in his gaze.
A man who hunts monsters.
March frowned.
And what if one day the monster hunts you?
Crowe flicked his cigarette into the river. The ripples swallowed it.
Then I'll make damn sure it bleeds.